Kara. It's spicy. I like kara.
No,
Kara.
after like Sarah and Laura, and I feel like my name needs to be Kara, not Kara anymore.
Is it Kara or Kara? Kara, right?
Ooh.
Oh,
what does it
okay.
mean?
Well, my
So
name
Kara.
is Kara.
I won't tell Usul. It's
not,
just us here. Nobody's watching.
It'll
Come on,
go in his
tell me
note
about
of
it.
swear words, so.
That's an awesome name.
You know, I'm really not sad about that.
There are worse bad words that could have been. You know?
All right. Well, back to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Lana and today I am talking with Joe and Kara, American students who enrolled in a summer school pathophysiology of public health issues with teacher Dr. C or Dr. Marina Cvetković Cvrlje. So my first question for you is, why are you here? So what is that main thing that attracted you to come here and to enroll in this class and to join us on this summer school?
Yeah, so I guess for me, the reason I kind of wanted to do pathophysiology, which is a required class for us, but the abroad version with public health, is because like I'm really interested in comparing different diseases and healthcare systems on a global scale. So I really liked the opportunity to be able to come here and learn it in a new place with new people and get the global exposure. And also just see a really pretty country. So that was a nice little bonus in addition to doing all the school stuff. But
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of answers to that question. I mean, like Kara said, it's a capstone required biology class, so all of us have to take it to complete our program. But we have options to do that during the school year, but we chose Croatia because why would you not spend 3 weeks, come here on the Adriatic and just see all this beauty? Like, it's amazing here. I absolutely could see myself living here. I'm not going to lie.
yeah, it's
nice.
It's a lot prettier and it's also way shorter too. So
Yeah.
but
So Croatia did fulfill your expectations? You like it?
oh yeah.
Yeah, I try not to set expectations. So I just kind of came into it as an open book, and I've not been, disappointed at all. Everything's been amazing. So
Yeah, I definitely would say that I'm gonna be totally honest. I really didn't know much about Croatia before like learning about this trip, and I definitely will come back here now because I really liked
I'm
it
really
here.
glad to hear that. Now I want to ask you, like, can you compare me your first impression of Croatia just the day when you came here and now when you're like already 2 weeks here? Can you say me what's the difference and what did you notice maybe? That's interesting.
Our first night here was like when this big student festival was, so that was a little bit overwhelming at first. Like after traveling for like 30 hours, there was like the big student festival, and there was just so many people around. And before we had like gone around with Dr. C and stuff, it was kind of intimidating because like I don't speak Croatian, like none of us except for Dr. C do, so it was just like don't know what's going on. But once we like got shown around the town and like once we met our Croatian students who kind of took us in a little bit, helped us learn the lay of the land, then now since then it's definitely been a lot more like of a cool experience. The first day was just really intimidating. Just a lot of new things.
Do you remember that first night we came at the student festival and we were just dancing? Nobody knows the words.
We
We're
had
just going nuts.
All Croatian
We had no
singers,
idea what was going on.
I can imagine that.
But
did you have a good time?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
It was fun. It was a little overwhelming, but it was fun. So.
Got my dry shampoo stolen that night.
Do you
Things
like
happen.
parties in Croatia?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys can go for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we're tough guys.
Yeah,
very tough.
That was something we talked about. Like the party culture ends at 2 a.m. in the States, and the first thing somebody told us when we got here was like the DJ comes at 2 a.m. and we were like, what? Like so yeah, that's at least how my perception.
So Dr. C recommended us a book that it's in Croatian called Propuh, papuče and punica, which would be draft slippers and mother-in-law in English, but the English translation is a little bit different. It's chasing a Croatian girl. So it gave you actually some kind of impression what Croatian culture is like and what's Croatian mentality like. So I want to ask you, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, coffee. I definitely have detoxed on coffee since being here. My usual
Detox on coffee.
No, that's
Whoa.
the opposite of what
I've
you meant to
detoxed
say.
off of it because I haven't
Oh.
been consuming as much as back home. So I would drink probably pot of coffee plus like espressos as well on top of that, like daily.
See, I'm the opposite. I like when Beverly had any coffee at home. I think that was the thing that the book made me most excited for, was like coffee on every
Yeah.
corner. Like that, we don't have coffee shops nearly as frequently back home, and the coffee here is so much better. Like
Really?
I don't.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like
From a vending machine even.
I mean, even the vending machine coffee makes me so happy. Like
We don't appreciate that coffee maybe as we should.
we don't have coffee vending machines at school back home. Like if you want a coffee at school, you have to go buy one for $8 in the in the cafe.
And it's hot garbage. It's so bad.
Not good compared to the coffee.
I think they take like tree bark and like grind it up.
Oh yeah.
And then put it in a filter, and that's the coffee there.
Oh.
Not
Yeah,
actually,
we have
but
nice coffee, I have to admit that.
yeah, I think the book, like, definitely the book was like really good to read beforehand. I'm glad that Dr. C had us do that. It just like, I don't know, it made me like understand more about like little things that I probably wouldn't have even picked up on, like the slippers thing and the wind, and then not to walk around barefoot outside here. that was probably good.
You were the one that asked Dr. C, should you bring slippers?
I didn't know, like that's not a thing. When we go to places, we take off our shoes. I didn't know if you're supposed to like bring house shoes. I don't know if that makes sense.
Japan.
Not to offend
You're bringing your
I
coffee.
didn't want to offend anybody, like, but no,
okay.
I think yeah, like it. I don't think there was anything in the book that was like super crazy, like different, but like I think it was cool to read from that perspective beforehand. So like yeah, it just made it a lot less intimidating. I think I like knew what to expect a little bit more.
Yeah, I can see that.
That Cody guy though, he's definitely a dad. Like it
He
reads,
is a dad
it
in the
reads
book.
like a dad.
Yeah.
Very dad joke heavy. Like he thinks he's probably the funniest guy like in his town. You know what I mean? But
So you didn't really like the
I
characters
enjoyed
in the
no.
book?
I actually did enjoy it, but like I could tell it was being like hyperbolic or a little bit exaggerated, and that kind of lines up with what I've found out talking to people and just making observations. Really.
Yeah, I think it's also this book is written like I'm not sure, but in maybe
2015, I think.
2015.
Oh.
So it's not that old.
Oh,
But
maybe
I
like-
mean, like it's the
It's 8 years old.
it's everything that he experienced. Yeah,
That's 8 years old.
it's just 8
8 years old,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's like I wanted to
Yeah.
say that maybe it's all the things he experienced before. So he's talking about after war Croatia, and after that with internet, with everything, maybe we gain more of your culture, especially in young people, which you mostly met. So maybe that's the thing why we have like those little differences. But of course, yeah, the book is like a little bit exaggerated with situations and everything, because it should be fun, it should be funny book. But yeah, I can agree.
The
with that.
diagrams did crack me up.
Yeah.
The diagrams did crack me up.
Yeah, I can find
Stick
some-
figures.
About the wind, yeah, like
Yep.
Yeah, we can find that
This
one.
configuration. So if you have 2 windows and a door open, that
no,
is maximum.
the book would be appalled. We have like all 3 of our windows open, every door open, all the time in our dorm room, and that was very much against the rules according to the book.
Yeah.
So Matt and I have 2 Croatian students in our shared dorm
Yeah.
area. And I was like, guys, look, I gotta know, like, is this gonna be a problem with the windows? 'Cause
You open all the windows.
this air conditioning that was promised did not deliver. It was not there.
Yeah, we're not used to not having air conditioning. But
but
yeah.
they were fine with it, so it's worked out.
So this is how dangerous draft is. This is representation. Is it visible? How can I come closer?
Hey, take off your headphones.
Just
Yeah, walk it up.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Oh, she's actually walking it up. Nice. Are they alive? Yeah.
What?
No one's died. No one's developed any UTIs.
Is this
from
okay?
what I understand, or
Great.
whatever else happens from the wind.
Nobody's died.
Ear infections, none. Yeah, I've seen both of them. I've seen both of them come and go a few times. So I believe they're still alive. That'd be a really awkward investigation if they weren't.
You'd also be not observant enough to not notice that if something did happen.
Matt would have paid attention.
That's true.
Matt would have got it.
So I wanted to ask you now how one day in Croatia looks for you. So you mentioned that your burials are most likely sitting in the dorms room. So I'm hoping it's not all they do is work. So can you give
I know
more
for me,
info
yeah.
about that?
For me,
I hope you tell the story about the other day.
I don't know which day you're talking about, so
Oh.
you could get to that. But my days usually are we get up and go. My roommates, because I have a room that's just for Americans, and we all get up and we walk to the Voyak, the bakery. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we've gone there consistently every day. And
What's the favorite thing in Voyak?
my favorite thing is the
Borek.
the circle one with spinach in it.
Yeah, that's a great one.
But I also like the apple one, and I also like the chocolate croissants because you can't go wrong with a chocolate croissant. But I love fresh baked goods and having a bakery right there. So, bakery and then one of those two coffee shops right next to it, and we get coffee before class, and then we have class for the whole morning pretty much usually, and then lunch in the cafeteria with all of our fun new Croatian friends, and that's been really good. As long as I ask you guys what to eat, so and then we have more class, and then usually after class we just either go to downtown or we go to dinner. Or it varies every day, what we've done, and our day offs have been adventuring around Croatia, not just doing homework, but
having a lot of trips.
Yeah. What were you trying to say? Which day are you talking
I'm wondering
about?
if I should even bring it up.
Probably not.
No,
maybe,
we like juicy
maybe later.
stuff.
Maybe in a little bit.
We can mix those sparkling water with wine. Maybe that
I
will.
mean, you don't have to twist my arm.
That's another thing. The wine here, though.
Yeah.
So my roommate actually, when he came here, was staunchly not for drinking alcohol.
And he tried the wine, and now he's like, "Oh, the wine is great."
Beer, tequila.
But yeah, so it's been good. But I'd
been
say
good.
most days are really fun.
Yeah.
There's always something different. So
Yeah, always is something happening. I mean, you're in foreign country. How can it be boring?
My day could be exciting enough just going to the bakery and getting coffee in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, whatever it says on the syllabus, though, for a school day, just add about an hour, maybe two. Maybe two, if you want to be, really conservative.
Yeah.
It's, they're long days. But outside of that, I roll into class. We do lunch. Usually I get adventurous. I just grab whatever I see. I don't ask questions. And then, I check out. I eat my food, hang out with is it Hrvatska?
Hrvatska.
Okay. Well, took a shot at it. We go back and we do classes for a little bit. We've all been just totally rocked with presentations and papers and debates. Kara really stepped on my throat on the last debate. She did great.
Yeah, we were on opposite sides, and my side won by a
we'll
lot.
get to
So,
that.
but yes.
So we mentioned your trips, and you've been, as far as I know, in Zagreb, in Istria, and in Krk. So can you tell me what you like most, what you like least, and what's something interesting you picked up during your trips?
Yeah, I think none of it is bad. It was all fun. Dr. C makes the trips fun. She makes sure to fit a lot into each day, so they're long days, but they're fun. I think my favorite of our trip days was probably the going to Kirk, because that was our first big long day here. I guess we were in the
Except
city
the
for
sea
it.
swim we did.
Yeah, and we like went and we like walked around the city, and it was like there's the historical stuff here is cool. Like we don't have anything that's as old as like the old buildings and stuff here, so we got to see cool stuff, and then we got to lay on the beach and go swimming, and that was probably my favorite of the trip so far. I'm really looking forward to we're going on a boat trip on tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to that one. But that was probably Kirk was probably my favorite.
Where are you going with boat? I heard only boat trip, but to Krk.
Am I saying it?
And Opatia.
Yeah.
We're going to Opatia and then Kirk and then Kret. The CRES one.
Stress.
Stress. Yeah,
Stress.
I know it's not Crest, but that's how I want to say it.
Stress.
Yeah.
That's
So-
one more bad word.
Oh gosh. Oops.
Don't
You
make
so-
me bust out a few of them
You
that
can
I
cut
know.
that out. Sorry about that.
I know a couple.
I don't know what the words are bad.
I
So
feel like if you learn to pronounce the letters, reading it becomes way easier.
Yeah, because we read as we speak as we read.
it
so
actually
it's
makes
like-
sense,
yeah.
unlike English does.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my favorite. What was your favorite?
It also Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk, sorry.
I can't
Yeah.
roll my R's.
Well, I think a lot of people who came on this trip know this, but I have kind of like a deathly fear of sharks.
We know. We
And,
heard a couple times.
Yep. But yeah, I was swimming out and just looking down. There's like 33 meters of water below me, but I was checking.
Are you
like,
sure that much?
It was like 100
No,
feet.
it was deep. We
It was
went.
about 100
We
feet.
swam out to the buoys at the beach we were at.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
That's what,
drop happened quick.
that's what Dr. C said at least, but Dr. C is probably also just guessing. Like, but no, it was funny. Him and one of the other girls on our trip were both talking the whole way here about how they were scared to go in the ocean because of sharks. And so every time we're in the ocean, I just think it's funny to like kick their feet and like make them scared about that there's sharks. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I grabbed Tori's like calf
Like,
and
yeah.
pulled her.
but there have not been any sharks, and the
No.
ocean is so clear and like
It's beautiful.
rocks. Like that was in the book, but like that it's not sand and it's like
Mhm.
rocky.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit harder to walk on than sand, but like I appreciate it because you don't get sand everywhere, and like
Yeah, sand beaches are bad sometimes.
Yeah.
that's like the only beaches I know. So
yeah,
Yeah.
you have only like coast part and only access to ocean actually.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
we have-
lake beaches or man-made beaches,
Yeah.
but they're not the same.
we have no ocean anywhere near us.
Yeah,
in
but you have,
Minnesota,
like,
but we have lots of lakes. With
Lots
beaches.
of lakes, you swim there. You can swim
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can bathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No sharks.
no
in
sharks.
No
I
sharks
just
in
wanted
lakes.
to say.
Big fish if you go to the right ones, but no sharks.
Yeah, some muskie. Lose a foot. That'll be fun.
Oh,
Oh, so where are you from?
I guess
You first.
we're coming here from St. Cloud, Minnesota. That's where our college is, St. Cloud State University, which is just like an hour north of Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is in the northern part of the U.S. I'm actually from Wisconsin. I'm just in Minnesota for college, but same thing basically. They're basically the same state. So
There's enough similar.
Yeah.
It's like
they're both
the same
upper.
mentality and
They're both
culture.
the upper Midwest. They're very
Mhm.
farming, lake centric. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, originally I was born in Atlanta, so I spent the first almost 16 years of my life there.
Mhm.
And then Dad's job took us up to Minnesota, and I've been there ever since. But I live in Maple Grove now. It's a nice little suburb. It's a good place.
Closer to the cities than school.
Yeah, I drive about an hour each way, 5 days a
Oh.
week, but I'm used to it at this point.
Mm.
So-
And sorry. And what do you study?
Biomedical science is our major.
Yep.
Like
Both of you.
Yeah, we're the same
everyone
major.
on this trip except for Josie is a biomedical science major. So we're all. You don't have to be to come on the trip, but it makes the most sense because of the way that like the class that we're taking on this trip is
Mhm.
only for majors in biomedical science usually.
Mhm.
So all of us are biomedical science majors. I have a minor in gender and women's studies and in chemistry too. I have 2 minors, but I don't know. That's just
I
extra
just have one
extra
minor.
stuff. What is your minor? in?
Just chemistry.
Okay.
1 minor in chemistry.
Yeah.
So now you're a little bit confusing me, and this is something I wanted to ask you. how your system of education works. So, for example, here in Croatia, you go with when you're 7 years old, you enroll in elementary school. You go there for 8 years. Then you have high school. You can go to like we call it gymnasia, so it's like more basic knowledge of everything a little. Or you can go, for example, to nursing school, nursing high school, or hairdresser high school. So it's like you have different high schools, and then if you want, you can enroll into university, which is 5 years basically, but it's always 3+2. In most cases, actually, 3+2. So you have undergraduate and a master's degree. And that's pretty much on our educational system. And you have those minors, majors, chemistry. I'm really confused, so can you explain that
so
to me?
for us in the US, like everybody, for US public school, you go your elementary school grade, like kindergarten through 5th grade, and then middle school is like typically 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And then everyone goes to just public high school. There's no really differentiation in high school.
Unless you pay for private.
Some people pay for private school, which can
private school better.
It depends on where you live.
Yeah,
like
what metrics you're
yeah,
looking
like
at,
and
how you
what
qualify it,
I mean, it's expensive. So like for most people, I'd say a lot of people go to public school. Some in bigger cities, more private school I'd say is more common. But I think I went to public school, and then everybody in public school like does whatever afterwards. So like that part is mostly free. But then in order to go to university, like not everyone does because you have to pay for it and it costs a lot. So yeah, and then people go kind of wherever they want for university, and then you pick like a major, which is like the program of your degree that you're like studying for, which is the majority of your classes. It's your major program. And then most people just have that, but some people, if they want to take extra classes in different subjects, also add.
So like you added chemistry.
Yeah, so like I added chemistry. Joe has chemistry too, just because we have to take so much chemistry for our major. It's easy to add it as a minor because you only have to take a couple of extra classes. And then two more classes. So, and then I also have a minor that's not at all related to science in gender and women's studies. So it's just like social sciences. So I just had to take 6 extra classes for that, just because it's something I'm interested in and I wanted to take classes about it. So
as you should.
Yeah. So that's kind of how that works. And then for all of us, if we want to get a master's degree, we have to apply and like take a lot of tests and try and get into a school. Medical school is the hardest one, but there's a lot of other like master's programs. But some people stay at the same university, but I know I'm not planning to. So like I'll be applying this year to try to a bunch of big different schools to see where I'm going to go to get my master's based on where I get in.
And where do you want to, or what do you want to do for your master's?
I want to get my master's in public health. So that's kind of my interest in the class is public health, and I want to focus on maternal and child health issues. So.
Okay, and you?
Yeah, so after this, kind of my trajectory is aiming for becoming a physician. So, and you touched on this, but like the undergraduate structure is like 4 years typically to do this program we're talking about. I mean, you can do kind of a halfway point, which is more like that universal, like basic exposure to a lot of subjects, but no specialization as an associate for like 2 years. But so after you complete your undergraduate, you have to have all these prerequisites for our medical school. You have to take an MCAT, do reasonably well on that. You need to have a decent grade point average. You probably need to have good volunteering opportunities. You need to have, service. You need to show that you're like not just like a person who just wants to make a lot of money. You're actually wanting to help people.
You need
to
demonstrate
that
character.
Makes sense, actually.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely.
You need to do a lot to get in.
Yeah. For example, in Croatia, people get in med school, in a med university, when they're like 18 and 19, and at that point maybe you don't even know what kind of responsibility will be one day in your hands.
Maybe you're not ready.
Maybe you're not ready.
The average age of med school in the US is like 25, 26. Because I know I came into college like looking at med school, and Dr. C was like, you need to be a little older first. Like they don't like to accept people who are like under 20 because it means you either you did your bachelor's really fast, or like you don't have enough life experience to go to med school at that point.
They're not just looking for smart, competent people. They're looking for people who can be empathetic and treat people as people. And like there's a lot more that goes into it than just being like academically elite. Like they're looking for a whole picture. So.
Yeah. But that's your trajectory. Is
Hopefully
med
that's where I'm
school.
aiming, wherever I can get in. So
Yep.
Yeah, good luck.
yeah. Thank you.
To both of you, of course.
Yeah.
So
I'll see Kira. She'll probably catch up. She'll do her
I-
masters,
I'll
and she'll
prob-
come right behind me and be like, "I'm coming for your grades."
I'll probably go to med school after I get my master's, depending on my career path. We'll
It's
see.
not a short.
So how long then?
I'll be in school forever.
Oh,
My
yeah.
master's degree will be 2 years, and then med school is 4 years of
4,
school, and
yeah.
then residency depends on what field you're going into. But
And then fellowship if you're
yeah,
doing.
if you're doing fellowship.
Yeah, I mean the first 2 are basically book knowledge and preparing you for step exams. The last 2 years of medical school are
Clinical.
kind of like clinical setting, getting you exposed to what that job
So you're
feels
really
like.
like in practice in the
Yeah,
hospital.
hands-on,
Yeah.
hands-on. Because like we can study a textbook, but when you're dealing with
Actual
patients,
patients,
and
it's
Yeah.
way different.
It's-
I think it's similar in Croatia. I think in med school you have also last year, I think, some kind of practice.
Yeah, I
So-
think that would check out with what Dr. C's told us about it.
do they do like a match? Well, I don't know if they do residency, but we
Yeah,
have
she
the
said
match program
I don't that I
over
don't know.
there, which is like a whole other.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic we don't need to get into.
No.
But yeah, so it's a complicated process. But does that kind of make sense how that all works education system wise?
Yeah, more or less. I just wanted to ask you, what's the difference between college and university? Because
Oh.
that bothers me a lot, also.
Oh, they're essentially the same thing. They're used pretty interchangeably, but I guess university typically refers to like a lot bigger school than a
4-year programs.
college can be like either 2 years or 4 years, like smaller schools usually.
Technical schools,
Yeah.
trade schools. I mean,
College is kind of a bucket, like an umbrella term. College can refer to 4-year or 2-year, or versus like university usually means it's like 4 years, a bigger school.
No, I'm fine.
just talking to us. We're over here gulping it down.
Can we get some water, all of us?
This has been an ordeal. It's been a good hang.
We have actually.
Kara, we're playing
Three more
Do you see
questions.
this?
Yeah, I know, we're doing really good. I'm proud of us.
I'm gonna give you some air also.
That's
Thank you.
appreciated.
Vala?
You're great. Well, molim.
Wait, hold on. Nema na what is
Nema
it?
na čemu.
Nema na čemu.
Nema na čemu.
Nema na čemu.
Well,
Nema na čemu.
You can also say molim
No.
Kritično.
without
Kritično. Is that better?
Hvala.
molim.
Kritično?
what is it? I don't know what
Do
you're
you
saying.
know what that means?
Critical. Kritično.
You need to stop talking now.
I'm just trying to
No more Croatian words for you.
hurt all my Croatian friends' ears out there if they listen to this.
So I wanted to ask you, since this course is related to public health issues, have you listened to any other courses, in classes in your course back in St. Cloud University that's related to public health issues?
This is your jam.
Yeah.
This is your slam dunk.
Yeah, so I took, Dr. C teaches an elective class that's public health controversy in the United States. And I took that class with her this past fall semester, so in the fall of 2022. So yeah, I took that with her. Public health is what I want to go into. I don't think masters in public health is like a thing without med school here, but it's like just, you can do that without med school. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's very much my passion project. So I listen to podcasts about it. Like I get lots of emails about public health. So that's
So
what I
you're
want.
really into it.
Yeah, that's what I want to go into. But I took the class with Dr. C also professionally. Yeah.
And you're personally like more in a general women's problem in public health. Like that's your major.
That's what I
point
want
of
to focus
interest.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. How healthcare impacts women specifically, but also all people. So
Okay, we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really have a formal like public health class per se. I did take bioethics, and that was a pretty interesting class. It's sort of related, but not in terms of policy or like interpreting. You know what I mean, like the analytics and the logistics of public health problems. So there's no solving of it, but it's just more like observing aspects of society within our medical community and different philosophies of thought. But mostly you're just to absorb information really on this topic. So
Okay, so in this class we spoke about a lot of public health issues, from abortion to suicide to school shootings, sex education. Like, we mentioned a bunch of public health issues. So can you tell me, since you're here physically and you are in America most of the
Yeah.
year, can you tell me how do you feel about those public health issues, and maybe what's like interesting that you notice that it's different within our cultures, and what's like
So to clarify,
what's
you
your
mean like
impression?
Croatia versus the United
Croatia
States,
versus
kind of our
United
impression?
States. Yeah, yeah. About
ahead,
public health issues.
Yeah,
So-
I'd say like, well, the big overarching one is obviously like access. So like universal healthcare is like a thing here, and it's not in the United States.
So you would say that here we have more access to
to help,
doctors.
yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
can go to
Okay.
the ER, but
Like-
they're not getting preventative care.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
so that's I
Maintaining
think
their health.
like yeah, being able to see a doctor varies really really widely, and like being able to get preventative care and access to birth control and mental health, all of those things are kind of paywalled in the United States behind private insurance
Mhm.
companies. For the
Protected
most part,
by-
there's
Yeah.
certain like government programs, but it's not very good for people who can't get access to it. But I think the most like I guess the thing that interested me the most was learning. So like I work a lot in the women's healthcare space and like talking about abortion and birth control and stuff. So I think it was really cool for me to have a conversation about that topic, like with Croatians also,
Mhm.
because like I guess in the status of abortion is really dire in the United States right now, but with the overturning of Roe and lots of states are banning it, and it's a big public health problem. But I never
Can you
cons-
tell us more about that? Because I
Yeah,
remember she
yeah.
was telling that in the class, and it was really interesting, and she really got into the core of the problem. So I think maybe it's worth
Yeah.
mentioning now.
Yeah, so well, they overturned Roe versus Wade, which was like our federal protection for abortion in the United States, which made like it was
A national
protected.
policy.
Yeah, it was protected everywhere in the U.S.
regardless of the state.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that was overturned by our Supreme Court in late July of last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
And since that happened, they kind of said every state can make their own rules. So now
Mhm.
in the U.S., like in certain states, abortion is banned completely. In certain states, it's like got a little ban or banned in certain circumstances, and in certain states, it's like still okay. Like in the state of Minnesota, where we come from, it's protected because of our state laws, but it depends really, it varies really widely, and it's become a really big healthcare problem because OBGYNs are being criminalized for it if they
Losing
want to provide it.
licenses.
So and it's part of their healthcare procedures.
Mhm.
So a lot of the states that have banned abortion have OBGYNs like a shortage massively. Like I know
Texas, for example.
I know Idaho's a big one. The state of Idaho banned abortion, and then a bunch of their OBGYNs left. So now in Idaho, you have to travel like 50 miles to see an
Mhm.
OBGYN, or like if you're delivering a baby, you've got to travel 50 miles to have an
Yeah.
OBGYN help you with labor. So that's like a big
To your access point.
yeah, so that's been a big issue in the US, and that's something that like I'm working on a lot, but it was most interesting like comparing the status in like Croatia, where it's protected by law, but you still have
Mhm.
issues with it because physicians won't provide it. It's kind of like the opposite problem because like in the States there's a lot of like politicians that are making laws against it, but even where the physicians want to provide it, like the
Mhm.
physicians are against the laws, versus here it's like
It's legal.
the
but-
physicians are against the laws in the opposite direction. Like
Yeah,
So-
here we have like more, maybe more religious culture.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that then a lot of gynecologists say that they are, I don't know what's the English word, but priziv savjesti, so they recall on their
Faith, like their beliefs.
yeah, their beliefs, and they're like, I don't want to do that,
Yeah.
because like it's allowed in Croatia, but maybe there's a few hospitals where you can actually do it.
get it. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
And-
actually curious
and-
what your take is on that. Like for doctors who personally don't want to.
Yeah, I mean
I'm curious.
I mean I can't like I'm not super used to that side of the issue in
Right.
terms of like what I'm used to in the States,
Mhm.
because I guess the OBGYN community in the States, at least from the folks that I like know of, is very like we need to protect abortion. So there are like the far and few, but it's definitely not very common that that's like the
Mhm.
people that are initiating the conflict. So yeah, I guess it's different. It's interesting to me as someone who works in that space and like who wants to go into working in that space to like see the difference in struggle, but similar struggle, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
there's
I can
there's
understand.
like limited access, but for different reasons, and I never thought about those different reasons, but before, like I don't know if that makes sense, but that's been something interesting for me on a public health perspective that is kind of controversial that I was excited to learn about here. So
I would actually want to ask you about this. So, just it kind of popped in my head. So we have in Croatia here a lot of things are covered, basically.
Yeah, let's say.
So how do people afford this? That's what I don't like. I can't wrap my mind around.
Yeah,
it.
our taxes are actually 25%. So
Okay.
everything you buy in Croatia, 25% goes
And it's built
to.
into the price.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything goes
Which is
to
something
like-
else that, like, if you've noticed,
Okay,
the price
yeah.
you see is the price you pay.
I
It's
know,
amazing.
yeah,
I love that.
because usually if you like go to the store in America, like the price that is on the shelf, if it's like $3.99 for a box of crackers,
You're paying
then you
$4.24
go
or
right,
something
you like go
that.
and check out, like then they add the tax at like so.
State, city,
like,
state.
Yeah,
federal.
it's like I like the fact that I can look at like, okay, this box of crackers is gonna be like €2, and I can pull out a €2 and that's it, and it's not like, okay, I need €2 and like
4 cents.
20 cents, like or something like that. Yeah, that's
I didn't know that.
yeah, that's just a random little like different thing. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So it's basically tax money and yeah.
Depends. Yeah, but honestly, like between deductibles and out of pocket, it really depends person to person. It depends on your income brackets. It depends on how many dependents you have. It depends on like where you physically live. Like there's so many factors.
It's usually really dependent on your job too. Like if you
Yeah.
work in if you work at a bigger company or like usually you would get your health insurance through the place that you work. So like you have to pay a certain amount and your company takes a certain amount out of your paycheck. And then almost every insurance company has like deductibles or like you have to pay a certain amount before they cover anything. So like at the beginning of the year, like going to going to therapy at the beginning of the year is like normally like after we've hit the deductible, insurance covers stuff and it's like $20 on top of that. But at the beginning of the year, insurance is like, no, we don't cover anything until you've spent a certain amount of money.
It depends.
So
it depends on your insurance setup.
And I don't know how much insurance costs. I'm gonna be honest. You can be on your parents' insurance till you're 26, and I'm gonna stay on my parents' insurance till I'm 26.
You ride that
so
wave.
I still am on my parents' insurance,
Yeah.
even though I'm in college and I don't live at home.
I will say this, for small business owners, it's very taxing, some of those policies, as far as like trying to do coverage and some of the coverage for their employees of small businesses. It's not great. So it's not perfect. There's always opportunities to improve anything.
Yeah, like your coverage is better if you work at a bigger, richer company. Like, so it's kind of like, and it depends on how much you have to pay up front versus how much you pay at the back end, and
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's really complicated.
I wish we were qualified to speak on this.
I am not. No, not at all.
Me neither. Definitely.
Basically.
When we're talking about
In
health.
Minnesota, at least. Yeah, because we do.
Okay, we're moving on.
When we're talking about health insurance, during our presentation that was about Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, you mentioned that you have different step treatment. So can you tell me more about that? Tell us.
Yeah,
more about that.
that was mostly just specifically for like the diseases that we had a project presentation on for our class for ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, but it was basically like the practice that your provider basically prescribes you like a certain medication, but if it's expensive, your insurance company has like basically the right to be like, we want you to try these other medications first because they're cheaper, and you have to do that and show us that they failed before we're going to pay for your expensive medication. So that was specifically for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, but insurance approval is a really big thing in healthcare that is a problem because you can like need surgery and your insurance company can be like, we don't actually think that you need surgery, so we're not going to cover it. So that's definitely an issue with
Is there like maybe a stupid question, but is there like a doctor in those health insurances? That
Hypothetically
is
speaking.
like, yeah, hypothetically
I'm sure
speaking.
doctors
so
sit on their
is-
boards, but I'm also
Yeah,
sure they're very
they say
wealthy.
that they have doctors, but like even if they do have doctors on their staff that like are technically the people that are doing that, like
Mhm.
the doctors are paid. The doctors that would work for the insurance companies are paid to save the company's money. So
Mhm.
like they basically kind of it's really iffy. I don't know. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't have the inside
Yeah.
baseball.
I don't know. I don't know
Sorry.
enough. I don't know enough about how health insurance works. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Call me Jon Snow.
I think it's enough. It's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
enough hard
Yeah.
questions for you. So the last question is, what will be your best memory from Croatia so far?
all right, I have mine. I thought about this one ahead of time. I couldn't decide, so I was like, okay, this is gonna be the hardest question for me. I think so. One of the like excursion things that we did that we didn't talk about already was the day that we went like to Opatia and we like got croissants and coffee and like walked along that like I don't know what the path along the shore
Mhm.
like and then we went and like got a tour in Kostov and like that day was really fun. I just think because that was
a
the
lot of
only
wine.
that was the only excursion that we had like with us and our Croatian students.
Mhm.
It was kind of cool to like hang out outside of the classroom environment, like go on a little adventure. So that was probably my favorite day that I'll like remember the most. But like honestly, everything about like being here is
It's hard to
memorable.
beat Krk is like
Yeah.
beautiful. I
Yeah.
don't know, and just out on the water, that clear water, and
No sharks, water.
no,
No
sharks.
sharks.
I got to lay on in the pebbles. At first, I was like, okay, this really hurts my feet. But once I laid down on them, I mean, I got up and it looked like I had like suction cup therapy on my back.
I still struggle. I still struggle. People can tell that we're like not used to
Tender
the
feet.
pebbles. 'Cause we're like tiptoeing and like running into the water like really quickly.
No sea urchin stings
No,
either.
no. And that was the thing that we were all. Dr. C made us all really scared about sea urchins when we got here because apparently, like a couple years ago, one of her students, like at the beach, like stepped on a sea urchin. So we're all just like we're all just like constantly being alert for that whenever we've been swimming.
Yeah, but there's a lot because it's clear sea, and we say when it's clear sea, you can see them. So
yeah, that makes sense. So yeah,
I eat sea urchins.
I don't know, some sort of.
I'm not.
Probably not. I don't know though. Maybe.
Small chance.
Maybe
It's okay.
somewhere else, but I don't hear.
Not
this.
here.
It's
We've
great.
been over
These
there.
sea urchins are too spicy.
We're not used to the ocean stuff enough to
No.
ocean sharks, even though they're not connected here. That's how you can tell we don't have oceans near us in Minnesota.
It's a sea.
What?
It's a sea.
A sea. Sorry. Yeah.
What is a Croatian word for sea? Is it mar?
More,
More?
more.
More.
I ocean.
I ocean?
Ocean. Ocean.
Ocean.
Ocean.
Yeah.
That sounds a little easier.
Jezero, lake. Jezero is lake.
Jezero.
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 Yes.
I'm not gonna try. I can't roll my R's. I can't do any of the. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry to the listeners.
I wanted to thank you for this podcast. I had really great time and I learned a lot. I hope it was beneficial for you too.
Yeah,
it was a good
I'm
time.
glad. Thanks to the campus here for like welcoming us and letting us hang out and live in the dorms and.
Yeah,
Be the-
Croatians are good hosts.
Oh
It's-
yeah,
it's
they-
in the book.
It's in the
right
book.
in
That's
the book.
so checked out. Like, oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Turkish coffee.
Oh.
Coming over here. Getting
No, the
coffee.
very first night we were here, some like girls that we met like 5 minutes ago offered us coffee, and we were like, okay, like I like this. So yeah,
The book
that
was accurate.
it's been a good time, and I'm really happy we got to be here. So yeah, I'm glad the
Absolutely.
university welcomes us. So
I'm glad, and I hope that you'll enjoy your stay till when? Till 21st?
we go home 22nd. We fly out to Zagreb at like 5 in the morning.
Zagreb.
Cause yeah.
Is that better?
Zagreb.
Zagreb?
Zagreb.
Yeah.
We fixed it.
We leave on Thursday technically, but
Mhm.
Wednesday's the last full day here. So unfortunately, I wish I would have stayed longer. I don't know. I wish I could go back in time and extend my plane ticket like an extra week
Absolutely.
just to have more time to hang out. But all in
Well, thank you so
hindsight.
much,
Yeah, thank
Vala.
you. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for coming here, really.
Yeah. I got Hvala or Havala, like
Hvala,
Havala
yes.
for thank you, and then Dovertan, Like good.
What?
Wait, no, did I?
Dobar dan.
Yeah,
Dobar dan.
yeah, I
Dobar
said that.
dan.
Dobar dan. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't learned a ton of words just because I can't roll my R's.
Molam.
Dr.
You're
C's
welcome.
been yelling at me about that this whole trip, but those
Is
are.
it molam?
I found-
Molim.
Molim?
Molim.
Molim.
I'm just usually the awkward American that just starts talking to people in English. So they know. This is gonna be explain to people why there've been random people walking around your campus only talking in English, saying thank you when they open the door for us.
Dobar dan.
Ciao, bok,
Yes.
bokte, which is like, oh my god. Right?
Like bokte.
Kritično. Wait, hold on. Kritično.
Bravo.
Oh, what
Yeah.
else do we got? What else do we got? We've got, I've got some bad ones. I just can't say
No,
'em.
no bad words.
No bad
No
words.
bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Doc- we should have learned some from our professors since
Dobre
being here. Like
jutro.
on the bus.
Dobro jutro.
Dobro jutro. Je, da.
Dobre jutro.
Dobro jutro. Dobro jutro.
Okay.
We should have learned some since
jutro.
we've been here on the bus. She'll be like talking to our driver in Croatian when we've been like on our excursions, and then she'll turn around to us and just start yelling at us in Croatian, and we're like, language, like because she's switching back and forth so much. That's probably my probably should have picked up something
What
from
about this one?
that.
Odlično.
Odlično. Yes.
Odlično. Sorry.
Well done. You know a bunch of words,
That's excellent.
and you'll learn so much more.
Pickle's my favorite.
Nobody taught me words. What happened?
I was pestering people.
You were pestering people. You're pestering people for everything.
I know.
So
It's
I
my
didn't.
MO.
Yeah.
It's my MO.
Do you agree that we greet our watchers, our public, with some Croatian words? So we can say "Doviđenja, vidimo se," or what's easier.
Ooh.
Doviđenja sounds maybe tough. Can you
Wait.
say it?
One more time.
Doviđenja. Doviđenja.
Doviđenja.
Is
Doviđenja.
it Jenga?
Doviđenja.
Yes.
It's like
Is it NJ?
It's like Jenga.
Nje, nje. Doviđenja.
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 Doviđenja. She's laughing at
So
us.
bad. Book.